Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to Rig Pro Custom Wash Systems Made Simple. Just wanted to update you on the current build. So I just wanted to pause and take a minute to just show how we're putting things together. And you're gonna see, I'm not really into just staging stuff, as far as like cleaning everything up and making it look pretty. This is the current state of affairs in this shop at the moment. Yeah, that's the workbench. All the boxes, all the tools, And quite honestly, this also reminds me of this is the work, This is the work that it takes to put something like this together. It's not a matter of just taking it out of a box, plunking it on there, and off into the sunset you go. It definitely takes a lot of forethought. It takes planning. It takes measuring. It takes cutting things wrong a few times. Re-drilling things. It's the course of building out a rig. So just wanted to update. Got the chem tank mounted securely. We've got stainless steel eyelets on the bottom with heavy duty straps. I have the chem line now from the downstream injector. Got that running underneath the IBC tote down inside with an actual filter on that. So that's good to go. Currently got the proportioner. I got just the water side right now put in. I'm waiting to mount the three-way valve. I'm going to put that somewhere along in here, and then we'll start running hose from that into our chem tank and into the actual water tank. I do have the soft wash system, the actual pump mounted, and I'm doing this in a quick connect type deal. So I've got 2 bolts, and then I've got these wing nuts under here. Hopefully you can see that. So those wing nuts basically just, you can spin them off. If you should need to swap out this pump, it wouldn't be a huge deal. I mean, you'd still have to, take your plumbing off. But as far as actually getting the pump out of the box, it wouldn't be anything too heinous. I do have also the battery charger. Got that installed. I've got some of these Uniseal fittings. These are great for running wire through. I've got one there and one in the back corner here for the actual battery charger. That's going to come down and go into the battery box back there. So we'll have the charger in here, but we're actually moving. That was a decision I made recently. Instead of putting the battery inside this box, I went ahead and utilized the space for underneath the machine to actually put the battery box. So the battery box is mounted, or the strap I should say, is mounted to the floor of the trailer, and then you strap this down once you have the lid on top of it. It still gives you the accessibility of being able to slide this out. If you need to take the battery out, this still can slide out. So I didn't want to make the mistake of drilling this into the trailer frame, and then that, you wouldn't be able to pull the battery out. So I wanted this to be able to stay mobile. But yeah, so we're going to have the wire for the battery charger running underneath of all this down into here, so that it would open up more space in that side box. That was my reasoning behind it. It's a smaller trailer, so storage is key. Went ahead and put our filter just before the pump. We've got our 1-inch water line ran, and we also have our 2-inch dump line mounted. So we got, she's still a little stiff. It's new, everything's new, but yeah. So that's our dump line. We've got a nice colored block to match everything. strap down, not going anywhere, and then our 2-inch dump valve. We're going to mount our switch for our 12-volt pump right there. That was part of the reason of doing this. That way the wire is on a rubber seal. It's not going to get cut by the metal. And we're going to run that right up underneath of there, something like that. Yeah, something like that. So I'll never do that twice. Put that on in one hand. Also have the port put in for charging or being able to plug in from the outside for the battery charger. One of the mistakes I made is that I actually had this 1/2-inch line already ran to the swivel for the soft wash, and I realized this stuff is only rated for 100 psi. And even though the pump is maxed out at 100 psi, you really don't want to max these out. It's a good way to wind up with a mess on your hands. I've made that mistake before, so it dawned on me, nope, we don't want to use this. So I have 3/4 inch, 300 psi. This stuff is like $10 a foot, man. It's not cheap, really thick gauge. Have that running through, and I got a 3/4 inch, so it's going to be 1/2 inch on this side, 3/4 inch on this side, just to be able to make that adaptation. And then I have the part on order for the 1/2 inch by 3/4. Like I said, right now this is 1/2 inch, so this is going to get taken off, and we're going to have a 1/2 inch by 3/4 inch line to go ahead and put this in. So that'll be nice and secure. I won't have any, there'll be no question as to whether or not this hose will hold up. It'll definitely hold up with that. So yeah, got everything mounted. Got our 100 feet of 3/4 inch Flexzilla. We have 200 feet of 1/2 inch soft wash hose with our gun, quick connects. We got 200 feet of high pressure hose with our Mazomatic DN10 swivel. Got the surface cleaner mounted, and we've got our downstream bypass hooked up along with the rinse mechanism for water and for soap. So that'll be real easy to be able to rinse out your downstream injector. And again, we have the chem line running up underneath of the tank there. So that's the progress so far. I still obviously have to finish out, plumbing that up. I've got some battery line that I have to do for the actual switch. I've got to pick up some 10 gauge wire to run from the switch down to the battery, and then I have an extension for the actual charger ordered to make that last little run to the battery box in the back. So once we do that, the last thing will be really plumbing out the proportioner into the chem tank and the soap tank, and we can seriously start considering starting to pressurize things and get it get it pulled out of here and maybe start doing some test runs with it. That's kind of where we're at with the state of things. Like I said, my goal is still to possibly have this thing out the door by the first week of October. Unfortunately, we're having some family health problems that we're actually going to be gone for the next several days. So this is all going to stay as is right now because family comes first. So, but we're making progress on it, and just kind of wanted to update that with you guys to show you where we're at with the build. And thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions about the build, or if you have any questions this period about building out rigs or pressure washing even in general, I'll do my best to try to get back to you. So, all right guys, thanks so much, and we'll talk to you soon.